Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode 11 of the Yellow Wall India podcast. Joining us today is a very, very special guest from who's been with Dortmund for a very long time. We have Julia with us. She's responsible for the youth development programs at Dortmund. She's currently based in Singapore. Julia, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. Welcome, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm glad to at least audio-wise meet you all. As you mentioned already, I'm a senior manager for new business and internationalization, as well as a sportive coordinator for the region in Southeast Asia and Pacific Asia. So I'm mainly in charge of like all the youth development activities and projects we are running here in Southeast Asia. And I think, yeah, over the years, we have built already a great portfolio of like club, university, and academy partners in Asia. But in addition to that, I'm also coordinating all our digital and marketing activities around the region here. Yeah, and probably about myself, I'm now more than 8 years with the club. I've been working all the time in Dortmund and moved 4 years ago to Singapore. So now I'm based here out of Singapore to have a better and closer connection to the region.
That's amazing. We also have Costa with us, who's going to co-host the episode with me. So, hello, Costa. How are you?
Hi, hello everyone. Hi, Julia. Good to have you.
There's a lot of excitement in the fan club to hear that some official is from Dortmund is joining the podcast today. So we'll get started. Our first topic of discussion is completely something that I would have wanted in my life. What is it like to grow up in Dortmund and have that environment around you where everyone is so passionate about the football?
Exactly. I mean, you can't miss it, or you can't not be passionate about football when you grow up in Dortmund. So I think Borussia Dortmund, the club, is something that is like very present in the city. I mentioned that before. Dortmund is not probably the most beautiful city in Germany, if you want to put it that way. But we are living from the football club. We are living from like it's from a region where you have hard workers. Like it was like the whole rural area back then was like from coal workers. So that's also something I think that's in our core values in the club. So it's a hardworking club, and everything that came with in the history was something that the club worked hard for and achieved together as a family. And I think that is a spirit that is still continuing in the city, and that is continuing in the people that are living there. And that is something, when you grow up there, you just can't miss out.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I'm not from Dortmund. I've never been to Dortmund, but I'm so attached to this club because of the principles of and the values of this club. Recently, I had lost one of my grandparents, which is why I was missing from the podcast for a very long time. But it was so beautiful that I got over all of this because of Borussia Dortmund and watching these matches and feeling connected to at least something, holding on to something in my life. So I completely get what you're trying to say, and this club means a lot to all of us. It's not just a football club for us. It's more like a way of living, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very emotional story, and I'm glad that Borussia Dortmund, that we can give you this, feeling of being part of a family. And I think that's what makes us, and that what makes or connects us all together.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following Dortmund since our UCL final against Bayern Munich, that particular season when Jurgen Klopp was there. And I remember that ever since, I've never looked at any other club's games. It's just been Dortmund for me all this while. Uh, I, to be honest with you, when I saw Marco Roy stepping up as the captain, and then he had a lot of injury issues. It actually felt like some of my family member has gone through some injuries and they're not able to play. It's that kind of connection with the club and the players.
Julia,
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, it is nice. Yeah.
I'm curious about one thing that, like, as Sujoy was saying, that being connected with Dortmund is one thing that every one of us like can really associate, and I think so most of us would be envy that you are working with Dortmund, can see the club in and out every day. So it's like breathing the club, and you have that life associated with it. but you are like, there's another stage that you're closer to us from India, considering that you are in Asia. So how is Dortmund, how have been your experience in Asia considering Dortmund? How has it been for you being in Asia?
I mean, I do miss being in Dortmund and having this BVB experience that close every day. But I do love and enjoy my time here a lot. It's completely different, but I love to get to know all these different cultures and to see how passionate they are, or you guys all over Asia and all around the world are about our club. Because like coming from Dortmund, you're in the centric, but you can only see Dortmund. But if you go out of Dortmund, you see, okay, there's a lot more, but the people are still as passionate as probably the people in Germany. And that is something very fascinating, which I learned over the years. And I very, very enjoy my time here and love to like somehow spread the black and yellow spirit and feeling that I've grown up with in Dortmund to the rest of the world, and especially to Asia and also to India.
That's great to hear. You were telling us about your story, how like last I think in 2019 you visited India. How was that experience for you when you had come with Roman Weidenfeller?
I think if I'm not wrong, it's 2020. It was last year in January, end of January, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, India is for me every time like an adventure. It's completely different from the other parts in Asia, and I think that's what makes Asia also so exciting. That it's such a diversity of different cultures. And India is a country where I feel a lot of passion for football. Where I see the people are very, very thankful and grateful for everything they get from also from Dortmund, from the club. So every time I come, I feel very welcome. And it's grateful to see the passion the people in India especially also show. And when we have been there together with Roman was as impressed as I was. The passion and the love we have been shown by the people and the fans was like overwhelming. And yeah, we were all so excited back then to come again just shortly after that trip for the planned Legends game. But then yeah, unfortunately due to the pandemic, it was not possible and we needed to postpone it. But I think the excitement is still there. And I mean also seeing that the club with Max has a personality who's really looking after India, shows that we are very serious and genuine about the market and about the people in India, and we want to grow and develop that even further.
That's beautiful. I mean, we'd love to have you guys over once more and maybe have that Legends game some other time. But as you mentioned, you've been looking after the Asian region. So can you give your thoughts on what the youth development is like in Asia? And if, Dortmund has that culture of bringing youth players to the club and making them grow exponentially. So.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it. It's not a secret what that Dortmund is known for the youth development, and I think that is something very unique and that is something outstanding. And what also makes Borussia Dortmund, that we are not a club who is buying the superstars and perform on the highest level. It's more, like I mentioned before, connected to the region and to the history, that we rather get the young talents and develop them into superstars. And that is something which is part of our philosophy, of our club and youth development philosophy. And that is something we also want to show internationally, that we are open to talents, and we know and we are very aware of that talents need time, and we have to be patient with each player that is a young talent. You cannot expect too much in the very young age, because then also given the pressure, the talent might not be developing as you expect the talent to be. But I think, looking in the past years or even the history, Dortmund has shown or has proven that we have a very, very good environment and platform for those young talents to to have the trust and to be given the trust to play on perform on highest possible level in Bundesliga, which is one of the best leagues in Europe, and as well as Champions League. And yeah, I think that is part of our success story as a club, and yeah, very unique.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think so. That's something which has always been associated with Dortmund, and I personally really love the fact that Dortmund gives the opportunity to youngsters. That was first thing which I really connected, being a young fan at that time. That this is a club which is giving 16-year-olds, 17, 18-year-olds chance to play at a highest level and perform. So that trust and that core which Dortmund has, it's something which I think so only Dortmund fans would really understand what it really means to get that, to be in that environment and that core, why the Dortmund follows that philosophy. So it's something which I think so. It's a different and it's a unique thing to have, and I think so. All of the Dortmund fans are really proud of the fact that the stars and the players which have been associated in past as well as in present, which are young and which can really take the football world apart with their talent. I think the one of them is Mukoko, who recently joined. So that's the one of the biggest story to have. So I think so, yeah, looking forward to many more players, especially from the academy, to come and showcase their talent. Would be an exciting year in the coming time. I think,
100% agree on that. I mean, looking at Mukoko, he was just 16 years old and 25 days when he gave his debut for the Bundesliga, which is like the youngest player ever. I think even the DFL, they needed to change the rules for him in order to be able to already
yeah.
play for the first team, and that is something very special. And I think if you look at some stats, Borussia Dortmund is the club in the Bundesliga with most of the players giving their debut for the Bundesliga. So that is something, yeah, which is like a very long story already and very successful, and that's something we are very proud as a club to tell those stories and to continue this.
Definitely, I agree with you. Talking about the philosophy, I think so. This is something which has been asked by the fans as well about the women's football, and Dortmund recently announced as well that they'll be bringing their women's football team. And the best part is that they'll be taking them from the lower division and play it as a proper team to just out of hard work and talent, they'll get promoted. So that is a pretty heartening thing to see that Dortmund is investing in the women football. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think first of all, of course, I personally am very happy that Dortmund has made this decision to set up and open up a women's department. And yeah, I think looking at when the process started, it was a very long process and a very well thought out process, um, which was very important also for the club to really figure out and to involve as many opinions as possible, also to get the fans involved in their what is their opinion on it, how to run this women department. Because I mean, there were or are different options. Dortmund could have just decided to buy another club or buy the license for to play directly in the Bundesliga. But that was something where also the fans said no, that wouldn't fit or match to our core values, which we have spoken about in the beginning. So something I think that is in our DNA is to be authentic. That is Borussia Dortmund. And to buy a license and just for the sake of playing in the first league or starting there wouldn't be authentic at all. And I think that was the reason why in a long process, the club together with the fans and some stake and shareholders decided, okay, the most authentic way would be to start from the scratch. So means to start in the lowest possible league in Germany. And yeah, then another option would have been to say, okay, yeah, we do have a women's department now, but yeah, we want the women's department to only play on a leisure hobby level, but that also wouldn't fit to our values, which are also that Borussia Dortmund always wants to be ambitious. So that was also a part where we then said together with the fans, okay, no, the women's department, okay, we start from scratch to be authentic, but we also have to be ambitious and want this team to one day, or as early as possible and as early as the success will make it happen, to play in the first and highest league in Germany. So that is definitely something the club is looking at, and in order to achieve that, the club is doing or processing a lot internally at the moment. You can feel really that each department, each and every department in Dortmund is 100% supportive for the topic and open for the topic, and that is something very important. And I think just recently, I think last week, they even announced two more personalities which will join the women's department. And one of it is Annika Khan, who was a former national player for the women national team, a very successful player. And I think coming her also on board will help a lot, because she is very connected to the football association. She has a good network and relationships, and I think we are on a very, very good point at the moment, and it's exciting to see how it will grow and how it will all develop. And I think that can also be somehow a role model internationally for other countries or clubs to look into developing and supporting women more.
I mean,
I think so. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Sujay.
From what you can say, Atel, and all of this is it's really amazing to hear, and I sincerely hope that we get to the first league very soon, and our women's team is also able to lift up the trophy sometime very soon for the club. That'll be making all of us feel more than just proud, because it's not just about the main team, it's also about the under 23s, the under 16s, it's about everything. So when we say we follow Dortmund, we follow everything. Julia, I'd like to ask you one question. Since you've been in Dortmund a lot, can you tell us about some of your memories related to the city, or if there's any match that you've seen in which we've won, and then the celebration, something like that?
Of course. I mean, I have joined a couple of exciting matches in the stadium, and also exciting years where we won the championship. And I think that were always memories I will just never forget, when the whole city in Dortmund was just black and yellow. It was full of people. Everyone was in the street. Everyone was just celebrating our club. Even the players came with their cars driving around the city. We're just celebrating with the fans as like we are all friends, we are all family. And I think that was something I will definitely never forget. But also looking at some cup finals in Berlin, when we painted another city which is usually more blue and white or wet and white, we painted completely in black and yellow, and then having these boats on the Spree, on the river there in Berlin, and the buses, the BVB buses driving around the city. I think those are all memories which you will never, or which you won't find in any other country probably, and also probably not in with any other club. And I always enjoy those moments. That's like just amazing.
I think so you were talking about the black and yellow when I had visited Dortmund. I think so that's something which you can really recognize on the match day, when the whole city, you know that there is a game gonna happen today, and the whole city gets painted black and yellow. You see everywhere fans wearing jerseys and going to the stadium. So it's like an event, and you are a part of that event when everyone is going there with the same purpose and just cheer Dortmund all together in and out. So it's a beautiful moment. And I think so you're lucky that you saw the winning moments and saw the whole city erupt and celebrate those moments. So yeah, I think so we all really dream of being there someday, just to be there to enjoy those moments. So would be a good thing to have.
100%. But I mean, not only the winning moments are moments that are memorial. I think, as you mentioned, more or less every match day is like a celebration day in Dortmund, and even that is already unique. Even you have that more or less every second week, but just to yeah, feel that spirit of the whole city following one football club. And even if you don't have a ticket for the stadium, you still wear your jersey on the match day and probably meet your friends in the old city or in the old town to watch the game together. I mean, of course not during pandemic, but yeah, pandemic aside, that is something which is very, very important in Dortmund, to really celebrate each match day. It's not just a match day, it's really a celebration in Dortmund. And yeah, even that is very unique. Or when you're in the stadium and then the anthem with "You Never Walk Alone" starts, it's like always a goosebump moment. And yeah, that's also very special. So yeah, if you have the chance to go to Dortmund and there's no pandemic, you really, really have to do that, because you can't miss it out. And because if you go, you will after that never yeah, love another club anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you completely in that. I could actually visualize everything in my last visit as you were describing those things, that even though you are not going to the match, you see people dressed up in the jerseys in the restaurant or in hotels as well. So you know that there is a big event gonna happen today and everyone is gonna root for the club, and you know which club it would that be. So it's a beautiful moment really to be a part of that in the city. I think so. Just Julia, going back to the women's football. I think so. Febin had asked this question. I think so. You had answered this. That how soon can we expect the women's football team as coming into the whole that we can all see the matches and see them play.
I mean, everything has to grow organically. Like I mentioned, they will start this summer. So in I think around August, September 2022, 2021, this summer, with the team starting in the lowest league. And then, if I'm not wrong, if everything really goes well and they get promoted every season, then we can see them in the first league, I think, in 8 years from now. But yeah, I think not only in terms of the sporting success, everything has to grow first. And I think the club will, like I mentioned, support everywhere they can. So you will definitely be able to see some photo snippets or video clips about the team, about the story and how it's gonna developing. But of course, not like the first team. It won't be as reported as the first team. That will also be yeah, an organic growth. But I think it will be very exciting, and everyone can stay tuned and look forward to what the club yeah, has planned.
We'll all be cheering for them in August. In that case, I mean, so we have a few important games lined up. With at the time of recording, we have Gladbach today, and then we have the big game on Saturday against Bayern Munich. So, Julia, I'd like to get your predictions on the game of Bayern Munich.
Only the Bayern Munich game, or also tonight?
Also tonight, okay. Never mind.
Also tonight, okay. Yeah, as you mentioned, like very, very tough games ahead for us, for the boys. But I think they have shown very good development as well over the past weeks. They seem to me very focused, and yeah, they want to win the games. Today, cup game is always different from league, but I'm pretty convinced that the team will be 100% there against Gladbach, and we will win today or tonight with a 2-0.
Okay, and for the
And
Bayern
for
game?
Saturday, yeah, for Saturday, the Bayern game, I'm always like a bit nervous to predict the Bayern Munich game, because it can be either way.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned, I think we are on point there. We have the game tonight. The team will get even more confident after that win tonight, and on Saturday we will beat Bayern 2-1.
I certainly hope so. I mean, with Jadon Sancho finding his form in 2021, he's been excelling, and Haaland being just as brilliant as he always is. I think today we're going to beat Gladbach, and on Saturday, I don't know, it can go either way, but I'd still want Dortmund to win. That's my prediction. Kostav, can we have your prediction as well?
Yeah, I agree with Julie. I think so. Bayern game is a tricky one, but Gladbach game, I think so. We should be able to beat Gladbach. So would be a fun game. I'll say I'll also go with the. I'll go with 2-1, and because it's a cup game and teams really go for it. And Bayern game is a tricky one, but I'll be optimistic and I'll hope that there will be goal fest from Dortmund side and maybe a Haaland brace as well. So I'll go with 3-1, just to be on the ambitious and positive side. So Julia, just we have reached the final segment. So, like pandemic, as you said, the pandemic is something which has affected all of us, and like Dortmund is a big family, so we all are staying together. So, what message do you have for all the fans who are listening here, especially in India, all the Dortmund fans? If you want to give any messages.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think the fans are we are all missing the fans more than anything else. Especially Dortmund is a club, like we all mentioned, it's a family, and in order to really feel the security and to feel the family, you need the family to be there. And due to the pandemic, unfortunately, that's not possible. So there are no spectators, but I think we are all still connected, and I love that we are all still so passionate. We should definitely keep this going, stay tuned, stick together, support each other, be there for each other, and yeah, stay or still swing our black and yellow flag wherever we go. And I think then better times will be coming again, and then we will see each other again.
Yes, absolutely. So, Julia, it was such a pleasure to have you on this podcast. I think we got a lot of insight about what it is to be inside Dortmund when, we were growing up, and you mentioned the environment and the stadium environment and the celebrations and everything. So, hopefully, when the pandemic wraps up, a lot of us can come over to Germany and experience that for ourselves and maybe see you also there. So,
That will be fantastic.
yeah, just wanted to extend everyone listening here a very warm greeting and tell them that stay safe and stay healthy during the pandemic, and we all will get over it. It's still not over. Wash your hands, maintain social distancing. And as I say that, I'm just going to wrap this up. And I'd like to thank Julia once again. I'd like to thank Borussia Dortmund for enabling this podcast and giving us this opportunity to speak to so many people. So, yeah, that's been it for this episode. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, and stay healthy and safe.